Good evening to you. It is Wednesday, November 22nd at 7:16. Purdue does what Purdue does. They win championships in November. Matt Painter and this Purdue Boilermaker squad, led by Zach Edey, has done it 3 years in a row now, in which they have simply been the best team in America in the beginning of the season. Now, I got up. My son, LBD, sits to my left here. I got up and I shook his hand. I said, that's a great game. That's fun to see. Damn it if they could do this in March sometime. And I guarantee you those players are thinking the same thing. If you saw Zach Edey's post-game comments, you saw him say, we've got 5-6 guys on the bench that don't even play, and they play 30 minutes for most teams in America. Purdue's very, very aware of their personnel, and they're very, very aware that they're a very good team. This isn't a team that is forming something, becoming something like they were last year. This is a team that is just very, very good, has a lot of moving parts. And even when they play poorly, they still find a way to come through it. Okay, now, the running start they had in the first half is obviously noteworthy. They were shooting the lights out in the first half, and they had a 12-point lead after Lance Jones hit that big, 80-foot?
Yeah.
80-foot shot. But the game, of course, tightened up in the second half because Marquette's really, really good. Remember, it's the same Marquette team that beat Kansas by 20 last night. I'm going to get into it even more. But before I do it, let me thank our sponsors. Thanks to Home Field Apparel. Head over to homefieldapparel.com. Enter Black Friday until, I think, Saturday. Enter Black Friday for 20% off, or enter Boiled23 for 15% off regularly. Get your Christmas shopping done. Do it at Home Field Apparel. The other place I like to get my Christmas shopping done is AJ's on Vine. Head over to AJ's when you're on campus next time. If you want to come back, welcome the Boilers home. Watch them play in Mackey in the next, I don't know when the next game is. I was focused so much on this. But head over to AJ's, get something to eat, enjoy the TVs, enjoy the fun and frivolity that comes with a great staff and delicious food. That's AJ's Burgers, Beef, and Beer. So let's dig in a little bit more to this whole story. Purdue shoots nearly 50% from three tonight. And at the same time, they shoot just over 50% from the free throw line. And don't go to the line very much. Make no mistake, Shaka Smart and Marquette had a plan, and it was a good one, to try to take away Zach Edey. They did what Tennessee did for a half. They really packed it in. And it started off, one of the good things early was Gillis hit some key shots early. It was nice to see him looking for his shot. He even looked for his shot late, missed a three. I hope he keeps his confidence because that was a good shot. That would have put Marquette going away. So Gillis looking for a shot was a big thing. Lawyer played pretty well in the first half. That was awesome. Jones was very, very strong in the first half. And Smith was the 1B to Zach Edey being the 1A. Zach led all scorers for the tournament. Zach led all scorers in the game. I'll check exactly how many. I think it was 27 points, 20-something points.
He had...
We'll figure it out in a second.
Yeah, I got it.
But Purdue wins again, and
I think it was
28 points, 24 points, whatever. I'll figure it out. I'll look at the thing here in a second. And Chris Harder, my buddy, says November champs, and yeah, they are November champs. It's funny, it's silly. But it's not bull crap either. I mean, they play the best teams in November and they beat the best teams. It's a really incredible path. A couple of years ago, before what happened in Portland last year, if I would have told you Purdue's going to go to the Maui Invitational and they're going to rip through number 11, number 7, and number 4, and then they're going to waltz their way into being not unanimous. It's going to be damn close. Number 1 in America. Before December even arrives, you'd say, shut up, right? But now this is old hat. 3 years in a row, Purdue will have been ranked number 1. Something's got to give in March. It is okay to have high expectations. It is okay to believe they're going to break through or to think they're going to break through. Now, Purdue's got to do the damn job and finish the season. And I know I'm jumping way over things, but it is obvious this Purdue team is good, if not great. I guarantee you the post-game media comments, you'll watch them like me because you're a junkie. You're a sicko. You're going to watch all the players talk to the media, and you're going to watch Painter talk to the media, and you're going to watch Marquette do the same. You're going to watch Shaka Smart, who's a likable guy, This way this game was played was an immense contrast to the bull crap we saw in the last game versus Tennessee, where it was just this grab 'em, beat 'em, punch 'em, whatever you had to do to stop Zach Edey. And the refs playing along in that way by allowing it to happen. Today it was a pretty fairly officiated game. I didn't notice the officials, which is beautiful and wonderful, fantastic. Even though Marquette, they did their best. They tried to lock down Edey in every way possible, right? Grab his arm, whatever they want to do. The fouls were called relatively well. There could always be more whistles, the way Zach gets defended. But still, Purdue wins. And let's go through it real quickly. Purdue wins 78-75, maybe a little more dramatic than it needed to be. I said Purdue they shot just over 50% from the free throw line. They shot 53%, 8 of 15 from the free throw line. That's a low number of free throws for Purdue. But the big thing is they still overcame it. Now, they didn't have the lapse like they did Tennessee where the offense went away. They had a bit of a lapse in the closing, 3-4 minutes where they just had a hard time running their offense. It felt like there was not an easy way to find a shot, let alone a bucket. Smith had some heroics down the stretch there, really, really big plays. Kept Marquette at an arm's length. There was an exchange with, I want to say about 5-7 minutes left, probably 7 minutes left, because at 5:55, Marquette called a timeout and Purdue had a decent lead. But there was an exchange where Marquette could have cut it down to one possession, and instead Purdue made 2 stops, and I think Smith and Jones, I think, had 2 buckets. Edey was pretty good down the stretch, but the free throw shooting, let's be real honest. Let's call it what it is. It was atrocious. I mean, that's like the way Edey shot free throws not last season, 2 seasons ago. Got to be better there, and they will be better. Purdue will be better. I think the biggest thing, if you're upset with this win, you're an idiot. You're an absolute moron because they just beat the 4th best team in America. Both teams were dog tired. Very, very fatigued. I kind of would have liked to seen a little bit more from the bench, but I understand why Painter didn't do it. I think this was really an idea, okay, we know the guys that should be out there and we're going to leave them out there. There's no novelty here. Go win the damn game. And they did. They found a way. Marquette, hats off to him. Good team. Kolek is a great player. Jones, great player. I guess that's I can't pronounce that guy's name, but they had some dudes make plays all day long. They were making plays. Their defense was great. They were well coached. They were smart. They looked like the 4th best team in the nation. Purdue looked like the number 1 team in the nation. Edey finishes 28 points, 15 rebounds, a steal, and 2 blocks. Again, if we're going to look at the negative, 5 turnovers in the first half. First half alone, Edey had 5 turnovers. And he fought through, and Purdue wins. Smith, 18 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, had a couple of turnovers. Pretty solid game. And the timeliness of those buckets, the way he made buckets, going right into the team, right into the defense, right into the teeth of where Marquette was, really, really impressive. Lance Jones finished with 11 points. One of those was an 80-footer. He had an assist, 2 steals. Defense was good, not as great as it was versus Connect from Tennessee. Fletcher Lawyer had 10 points. I think most of them are in the first half. 2 rebounds and an assist. Let's see. Trey Kaufman ran quiet night again, 6 points. Off the bench, you had Gillis. This is a really interesting thing. This is one thing that's kind of unusual. It's tough to figure. Purdue is not getting a lot of production out of this bench right now. They're just not. And they haven't the last couple games, which is really interesting. Marquette has a relatively narrow or small rotation. 8 or 9 guys play. I think they played 9 today because of foul trouble on their bigs. Nobody fouled out from nobody fouled out. You ended up with 2 bigs with 4 fouls. Nobody fouls out. But they went 9 deep on their bench. Off the bench, they had 12 points. Purdue only has 5 off the bench. So if we're going to say we're going to look for improvement in places Purdue can get better as the season goes on, it's production off the bench, right? And this is where Painter and company got to earn their dough. I would love to see this team just round itself out. I'd love to see guys like, for instance, Colvin. I'd like to see Colvin grow up a bit and understand the offense and the defense a bit, right? That'd be if I got Christmas wishes. Morton isn't taking shots, right? He shot one time. And that's one thing. If you look at those guys off the bench, they're not taking many shots. First was silent. And these are good players. And this is what goes back to Zach Edey's point in that post game. So I'm going to make this relatively quick unless these comments are long. Thanks to everybody who's tuning in live. Thanks to everybody who's tuning in on delay. Appreciate you. Midway Toker says number one again. Absolutely. There's no doubt they're going to be number one. I can't remember who number 3 was. Maybe you guys can help me in a second. But Purdue is going to be number 1. And I hope we don't take stuff like that for granted, but I believe many of us do take stuff like that for granted. It's pretty special. When I was a kid, when you were kids, when everyone was kids, this didn't happen. It's a 3-year-old phenomena. Patrick Goshall says, it's always great to learn lessons while winning. Yeah, exactly. Paint and company can go to practice this week and talk to the team about things they didn't do well in Maui versus 3 top 11 teams in which they went 3-0. There's a lot of basketball ahead of them, even before they get to the Big Ten. But there's a lot of basketball ahead of them, a lot of opportunities to learn. You're going to have to play Alabama in Toronto. You're going to have to play Arizona in Indianapolis, pardon me. There's opportunity here to get better. And there's opportunity to have a really good time too here. So let's all do it. Andrew Lincoln says, print the shirts, get to Redbubble. I'm gonna work on the graphic tonight. I'm gonna work on it tonight. And then you guys, and I'll put it on the Twitter. If you guys follow us on Twitter, hope you do. I'll advertise for it because it's going to be fun. If you know what our Redbubble is, I think it's Boiler D is the Redbubble account. So if it's not on there tonight, it'll be on there by Thanksgiving. You can enjoy your turkey and make an order on Redbubble. Let's see what else we got. Let's see. Andy Day says back-to-back November champs. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And it's a joke, and we're going to lean into the joke. Jay and I have made the decision. Anish has made the decision. We're going to lean into this joke. It's also real. They're damn good in November. We need them to be good in March. Ben Cotton, some very smart guys would say choo-choo mothers. Yep, right on. Chris says Hawaiian sushi is good. I bet it's amazing. I don't like sushi, but I'm sure Zach has feasted the last few days in this feast week. Joe Inslee, would you rather win today or win the bucket Saturday? Win today. I mean, a loss Saturday probably maybe quiets down some IU people about getting rid of Tom Allen. I want Tom Allen there. I think he's a pleasant guy. I don't dislike him, and IU's not very good with him as coach. So yeah. And I want trophies. I think this is a trophy game. I know the bucket is obviously a trophy game, but we all know this is a bigger game. This is a bigger game, and in the grand scheme of things, Jay said it the other night during the Handsome Hour. He said this is exactly the same as last year. It feels a lot like last year. Let's see if we can have a different ending. Adam, Purdue, class of 95. While I missed the 3 at the end, I was glad to see Gillis shot the ball. He's going to start hitting. I agree, Adam. I think that just him taking the shot, that's a big deal, right? Because he had the Ryan Smith disease where he was pump faking himself to death. I'm glad to see he stepped up and made that shot. He needs to have the confidence to know that he is a guy that needs to make shots, and they need him to do it. John Roberts says, are charges never called now? That's a very good question, and my son explained it to me. The NCAA has actually changed the way they call charges. I think the feet have to be completely set. So they got a little more into calling it almost like the NBA, where it was more of a player control foul for a couple years, and now it's back to more of the historically the normal way of calling the charge in college. Scott Justek says, what a great way to start the holiday weekend. Great show. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you all, too. Thanks for tuning in. Kevin Past, never in doubt. Lance Jones wins at the half. Yeah, I had some doubt, Kevin. I'll be real honest. Like people say, no worries. I had some worries. They weren't big worries, but I had some worries. Judith Johnson says, so many good performances. What a tourney effort. Big fun. Tarek Camel says, we got a squad this year. Top 3 offense and defense in Kempom, believe. Okay, so Tarek is showing his knowledge. That top 3 offense and defense, that is a big deal. And Purdue really hasn't put that together. They got close last year, right? The defense edged way up from the year before where the defense was atrocious. But that's a big deal. If you're into stats being indicators of other things, I'm not going to get into it too much right now, but it is a very, very big deal to have a top 3 offense and defense. I think that's in efficiency, according to KenPom. Motor City Boiler said it's time. Hell yeah, man. Big time Boiler, Grant. November champs. Right on, brother. Ted Berkey, Boiler up. Chuck Hall, this is the year. I don't know what for what, but sure. Final 4. Champions, whatever. Well, I don't know what this is the year, what it's for, but sure, I'm it. It's not 2023, I hope you're talking about, because let's go for 24. Ted Berkey, survive and be a champion. Survive and advance, always fun in tournaments. Big time Boiler, Grant says we need more clutch plays from the 4 spot, especially in crunch time. We need more plays from the 4. Full stop. Need more plays when TKR is in the 4, you need more plays. When First is in there, you need more plays. If Gillis is playing the 4, you need more plays. The 4 needs to do more on offense, no doubt. Purdue needs to get a little more dynamic in the play calling, too, in the half court. So I'll put a little bit of this at the coaches, too. Got a little stagnant there. Felt like Purdue could not get out of the Venus flytrap defense that Marquette was throwing at them. Let's see. Andy Day says, love Shaka as a coach. Hate facing him. It's always frustrating. Goes back to his time at VCU when the baby Boilers lost him in the tournament. I'm sure some of you still have a little bit of bad taste in your mouth over that. I do, but I like Shaka. Andrew Kolek said, Lincoln looked gassed the entire game, but he kept coming. Marquette is a great team. Kolek's great. Like they said, him getting to his left and finishing, he's a great player. Yeah, it's tough to be a team that well built, that well coached, and a player like that specifically. Let's see. Mohill 93 says Boiler up, baby, and then said last November. I don't know what that reference is. No big deal. T-Rick, Boiler up. Tough back-to-back-to-back games. A lot of things to work on. Dirty wins again against top 3 teams. That's pretty damn good. Agreed. Let's see. Get one more here. Oh, boy. Gets wordy down here. Bitcoin is freedom. I like this. Wanted to destroy Dickinson in Kansas so badly, but Kansas is such a fraud due to Dickinson. Not even top 10 team. Listen, Dickinson is a cancer. He's a team cancer. He's shown it year after year. He pretty much dismantled Michigan on his own with the help of Juwan Howard's crappy everything. I mean, who's worse? I don't know. I'd say Dickinson isn't as bad as Howard because he's not an adult all the way. He is old, though, now. He's old. He's old enough for me to make fun of him and give him a hard time. And his pouty jack face, I wanted to see Edey beat him. Next time Purdue has a chance to play Marquette or Kansas, it's going to be in the Final Four. So hopefully they get a chance to match up with Dickinson. I agree. Island Coma says, longtime fan, good win today. Would not want to play them again. Boiler up from Sydney, Australia. Good day, mate. Crikey! All the way from Sydney. Glad you're here. Glad you're tuned in. Glad you can feel connected to some fellow Boilers via this platform. That's awesome. Love to hear it. KMKV6 says, Marquette did look more flashy to me in their style of play. Points are points, but I was impressed with Marquette, hoping Colvin and Heidi can help us with this later in the season. I think they can. I think Purdue's athleticism is better when they're playing in a place that they can actually work within the offense. I think the problem you had is Purdue was trying to run some pretty exotic stuff, play calling wise, and I think some of you guys who are better at X's O's than me can probably say that. They were trying to do that to counter what Marquette was playing, and you really need guys that understand the offense, and I think Heidi and Colvin still might not be the best guys to have on the court right there. In fact, I know they're not the best guys to have on the court, but I want them to get better. It's another part of this equation. I want them to get better. So, Joe Inslee says Arizona is number 3. How could I forget about Arizona? So Arizona probably will be number 2. I would think Marquette would be 3, and I think Kansas would be 4 when the poll comes out. Do you agree with that, LBD? Great. Awesome.
not listening.
Tuned in, dialed in like a laser. Great. Purdue's definitely going to be number one, though. So that's about it. It's a fun one. Hope you enjoy Thanksgiving. God bless you and your family. Hope it's a great day. And God bless the Boilers. Hammer down. Purdue is back-to-back-to-back November champs. And
Number 1.
first time ever Maui Invitational champs. But this time in 2023. We'll see you.